Hello everyone, my name is Sumit. Today we will discuss about the reproduction system. Reproduction is the process by which organism makes more organism like themselves. But even though the reproductive system is essential to keeping a special species alive, unlike other body systems, it is not essential to keeping an individual alive. In the human reproductive process, two kinds of sex cells or gametes are involved: the male gamete or sperm, the female gamete, the egg or ovum, meet in the female reproductive system. When sperm fertilizes meets an egg, this fertilized egg is called a zygote. The zygote goes through a process of becoming an embryo and develop into a fetus. The male reproductive system and the female reproductive system both are needed the reproduction. Reproduction can be defined as the biological process of producing a new individual or an offspring identical to the parents. This process ensures the increase in the number of individuals of a species when conditions are favorable. It is one of the fundamental characteristics of living things and in an essential life processes. There are two types of reproduction. One is asexual and second one is sexual. Sexual reproduction can be happen in the human beings. This process of reproduction is very complex that involves the formation and transfer of gametes followed by fertilization, the formation of the zygote and embryogenesis. A sexual reproduction, this is the process of reproduction involves only one parent and the new offspring produced is genetically similar to their parents. Humans, like other organisms, pass some characteristics of themselves to the next generation. We do this through our genes. These special carriers of human traits, the genes that parents pass along, are what make their children similar to other in their family, but also what make each child unique. These genes come from the male sperm and the female eggs. Reproduction in the human beings. All human beings undergo a sexual mode of reproduction. In this process, two parents are involved in the producing a new individual. Offspring are produced by the fusion of gametes, that is sex cells, from each parent. Hence, the newly formed individual will be different from parents both genetically and physically. Human reproduction in an example of sexual reproduction. In human beings, both the males and females have different reproductive system. Hence, they are known to exhibit sexual dimorphism. Males have testes, also called testicles, while the female have a both pair of ovaries. The reproduction in the human beings involve the fusion of male and female gametes produced in their reproductive system. The male reproductive system is different from the female reproductive system both in the structure as well as in the function. The male reproductive system, the male gametes, that is sperms, and produced within the male reproductive system. Sperms are small unicellular structure with a head, middle piece and a tail. The male reproductive system consists the parts we can see one by one as follows. The testis, a pair of oval-shaped organ mass in a pouch called the scrotum. They are responsible for the production of sperm and the male hormone, that is testosterone. Scrotum, it consists a sac-like organ that hangs below the penis and behind it. It is the house of the testicles or testis and maintains a temperature that is required for the production of the sperm by it. The next part is vas deferens. The sperm produced in the testes are stored in a tube called the epididymis. Here the sperms get matured and pass to the urethra through the muscular tube, the tube called vas deferens. Then next is accessory glands. This includes the three glands, namely seminal vesicles, prostate glands and Kopler's gland. This secretion from the three glands mix to form a fluid called the semen. Semen nourishes the sperm and increase in the volume and helps in the lubrication. The next part is penis. Penis is a cylindrical tube which serves as both the reproductive organ and an excretory organ. It delivers the sperm into the vagina during the sexual intercourse. Then we will see about the what are the common symptoms of male reproductive system condition. Common signs of condition that affect the male reproductive system include as follows: lumps or sores on your external reproductive parts, pain or swelling, itching or discomfort around your groin and the lower abdomen, blood in your semen, that is hematospermia, blood in your pee, that is hematouria, pain or burning when your pee, that is azuria, loss of bladder control, that is urinary incontinence, then inability to get and maintain an erection that is hard enough for the sexual intercourse. Then next, common conditions that are affect mostly in the male reproductive system, that is testicular cancer, penile cancer, prostate cancer, sexual transmitted infection, that is STIs, premature ejaculation, male infertility, erectile dysfunction, periaplasm. Then we will talk about the female reproductive system. The female reproductive system is active before, during and after the fertilization as well. It consists the following parts: a pair of ovaries. Ovaries are responsible for the production and the store of ovum in them. They also produce a female hormone that is called the estrogen. The fallopian tubes called the oviducts. They are the site of fertilization. They connect the ovaries with the uterus. Uterus is the site of development for the embryo. The next is vagina. It is the part which connects the cervix to the external female body parts. It is the root for the penis during the coitus as well as a fetus during the delivery. Then next, female reproductive system has the major two function: production of the female gametes called ovum, that is egg, providing the nutrition and protecting the developing embryo. During the puberty, eggs in the ovaries start to mature. One of the ovaries release the mature ovum in every 28 to 30 days and it is called ovulation period. Then we will talk about the female reproductive system disorder. In that, first one is the cervical cancer, also known as the uterine cancer. It occurs most often in the women who are obese or during the first stage of the menopause. The next is the breast cancer. It originates in breast tissue and there are different types of depending on its origin. The next is vaginal yeast infection. This is caused due to the bacteria as well as the fungus. It is one of the most common disease and it is caused by the fungus that is arise due to the alteration of the pH or disturb in the pH of the vaginal region and the vaginal discharge or a weak immune system. Then next is endometriosis. In the presence of tissue similar to the endometrium, it causes the chronic inflammation and the irregular menstruation cycle. Then next is STD. Sexual transmitted diseases. Although sexual transmitted diseases affect both the men as well as the woman, in many cases in women they can cause more serious symptoms or complication. Urinary infection due to the presence of bacteria in the urethra. This infection can result in the cystitis or the phelonphritis, uterine prolapse. This is the condition or the alteration of the pelvic ligaments that result in the lack of adequate support in the uterus. Then next is ovarian cyst. Although some cysts may disappear on their own, they can cause the complication if they don't. Then next is HPV. The human papillomavirus is the one of the most common pathologies and can cause the warts on the sexual organ or promote the development of cancer. Then we will talk about the reproduction process in the human beings. The process of the fusion of sperm with the egg is called ovum. To produce zygote is called fertilization. Fertilization is a crucial stage of reproduction in the human beings. The fertilized eggs is called the zygote. Zygote start to divide into many cells and develops into an embryo. Embryo moves into the uterus and gets attached to its walls. This process is referred to as implantation, and the implanted embryo eventually develops into the fetus. This is all about the human reproductive system and its disorder. Thank you.